Hello, hello, guys. How are you today?
Good. So good actually. Good.
Fine, thanks.
You guys are meeting here in Poland. Um, what, what brings you here? What do you think about it over here?
We just came the other day and we came here to film a video clip for our song The Abyss Walker. To be honest, we had no time to go almost anywhere. But just after the airport, we went to the center, and I was surprised that it's all very quiet. People, it's so nice here in Portland. There's a lot of people that can speak English very well, and I was surprised because it's the first time I came here, and it's been amazing so far.
Before we start talking about the Silver Key, Gjallarhorns Wrath, how did it begin? How did you guys come together? How the story started?
Well, actually, the three of us here, we are originally from Barcelona. That's where we met. And there, 20 years ago or so, we formed a band called Oblivion. We played, we did something. After some time, we disbanded, and each of us went living somewhere else. I went here to Poland. I went to the UK. And through the years, I mean, the feeling, the music was always there. So we never really lost that. And just recently, like a couple of years ago, we started talking about maybe why don't we retake the project, we do something new again. And we were at the time in our lives where all the elements were there really. Like we had the will, we had the means, we had everything. So it was really a no-brainer to just get together again and do some stuff.
When all started, you guys had already in mind some sound to follow, or how did it happen? So were you just playing along when you were practicing, or trying to come with a new track? How did it work for you guys?
I think that yes, of course, we did have an idea, because like I said before, the main thing was at the beginning to retake somehow that previous project and give it a new lease of life. And that was the idea, that was the base. But of course, 20 or years passed, so everyone has changed, has matured, has brought a lot of other different influences to the table. And even if you had an initial idea in your mind and how it should sound, when you take into account all the individual members and their contributions, what they bring to the mix, and you put everything together, it's obviously this is going to change. This is going to evolve and mutate into something completely different, maybe that you had in your head. And actually, that was the main reason why we actually decided to change the name, and now we are Gjallarhorns Wrath.
Your debut album came on 5th September 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Serviam Records, correct?
That's correct.
Yep. So how did it change your life personally as a band?
I don't think it's changed a lot, but when we started this project, as I said before, we had the idea that we failed somehow, and we wanted to record an album. It was our target. And then once we did that, we wanted to reach as much people as it was possible. That's why we decided to send some labels. But then after releasing the album, and when we saw the reception of the album, it was nice to really see that what we were trying so hard to do something good, and we're somehow confident in that. But to check that everybody was loving the music and all the feedback that was so positive, maybe we started thinking that maybe we can like move forward and do other stuff, and it was nice. Yes.
When you listened into the Silver Key, you have strong emotion and power. How do you define this?
For me, at least, the essence of the band and also the sound is a mix. It's a strike a balance, between dark and light, and that slips into everything. Really, it's the music, the lyrics, the image. Just like you have this wall of sound, like very powerful guitars, very heavy riffs, but then there's like this orchestra cutting through. That for me, that's a good analogy of the whole idea behind the band. And regarding the lyrics, that's true as well. They all come from a dark place. That you take that as a starting point, but then somehow there is some light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. And yes, that for me basically how I would define the band.
Weekend Word was your first single to introduce the album. Why did you choose this song to do so?
Well, the decision itself was not hard at all, really. Like right from the moment when we first wrote this song, we all felt that this was probably the one. And when we talked about the possibility of releasing a single or in a video, yes, we all agreed that this was probably our strongest candidate to do that, because it really defines the band and the sound and everything we are about.
This is funny even because I remember we had the story of the music video even before have the lyrics of the song. Because the song for me is very like visual. It was so easy to imagine a music video. So yeah, that's it's something curious and funny.
Yeah, it was even magic because we all agree that it was going to be the single, and also we were speaking about the video clip, and we were so excited about that. That's why it was, as I said, like some like decided from something else, or it was like magic, yes.
Then came Silent Scream with more emotional and introspective side. You can feel that on the song and on the video. What made you guys going into this? How do you describe it?
Well, that came quite naturally, actually. We had this idea of doing something more personal, so to speak, so more emotional, like you said. And even if at the beginning we were maybe like a bit apprehensive, because that's not really what you would expect from black metal band, we decided to give it a go, and we were very satisfied with the end result. And I think that was an interesting choice, for a second single to kind of complement Weekend Word. Because for me, I like to describe them both as kind of two sides of a same coin.
When working on the Silver Key, during the process, was any turning points, any difficulties when doing the Silver Key that you can describe?
Working remotely is a challenge, especially for people. For some of us, like didn't have experience recording by themselves.
You know maybe that, but we all live in different cities. But nowadays that you are connected, maybe it's 2 a.m. and you have an idea, you try and you send it to someone. He checks that, he says it's good or not, and that's why if you want to do that, you have all the time of the world to do it as you want, and I think that you can do whatever you want. It's just to try that, to want to do that.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind that the whole thing from start to finish has been self-produced, and that's been kind of a huge learning curve for every one of us.
Gjallarhorns Wrath has a very defined type of sound. Did you guys have it since the beginning, or it was just coming through the experience you guys were doing? Meanwhile, doing your songs.
I mean, we did have, of course, an idea of a sound, so to speak, and also Javi had previous experience, with music and recording and all that. But like I said before, the whole thing was all self-produced from start to finish, and that was a huge challenge because one thing is what you have in mind, and then how to achieve that. That's a whole other story, and that came as we went along. There was definitely a lot of trial and error and experimentation along the way, trying these things. Does it work? Does it not work? Until we finally achieved that final stage where we were all pretty much satisfied with the end result, which we are.
We were adjusting like several times some parts and some parts of the sound, and that's why I think that in the end we ended doing as best as we could, but I think that it worked because it was like even sick, like one and on over and over and over and doing changes, but in the end we did what we wanted to do.
You're filming a new song here in Poland. How do visuals and influence your music?
I mean, I know for certain that Javi is kind of a very visual kind of artist, so he often has some image in mind. For me, actually, I think it's all the way around that it's music that inspires the visuals.
Looking forward, looking ahead, do you have already any idea or any path that you would like to follow? Describe what we will try.
Yeah, we do have some ideas around. What I can tell you is that we want to keep experimenting and forging like a sound and an identity of our own, to bring something to the something interesting actually to the scene, and we want to keep experimenting and not repeating ourselves, maybe not to stagnate there or release the same album over and over. So for me, that's definitely a thing. We released Silver Key, now is looking ahead.
I think that we don't have to be afraid to experiment, to try other paths, and yeah, I think because nobody wants to listen twice the same exact album. That's why I think that we can try to, even with the experience that we got recording this album, to do something new, and yeah, I think we are very excited about that.
The Falcon of Darkness. It feels like a fragile moment on the album. How did you come up with this result?
It's funny because maybe some people even can think that that's not like a real song. At the beginning, it was supposed to be an instrumental song to be the grand finale of the album, but then we came with Silent Scream, and then we decided that song to be like calm before the storm later on. But to be honest, it's one of my favorite ones, and yeah, I love this song a lot. That's why to me it's very good one.
Looking into your labyrinth of work, how do you think, or what made this album? Which influence did you have to create your amazing work?
Well, I mean, throughout the years, we have accumulated a lot of different influences. But to me, the root of it all is very much still the old school black metal from the 90s. That's for me is our biggest main and first influence that started the whole thing. Like bands like that Emperor or even Satiric Immortal. All the Norwegian black circle from the 90s.
Yeah, especially those bands that were using symphonic and keyboards that was not so common at the beginning. So yeah, it's probably the biggest influence. Yeah.
I think that maybe over the years we also changed ourselves. That's why we started listening some kind of music, but maybe all of we now we like several different things, and that's why maybe put all these pieces all together, and it makes that we sound like maybe I would think that like no one else. But
Okay, guys. Thank you very much. It was a very pleasant experience to be here with you guys and make this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same here.